Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to the darkest dungeon. Hope you are all well today. Hope you're having a great day. I actually had some proper sleep again. So I've gotten a really good run in on Monster Train. Spoilers if you watch Monster Train After Darkest Dungeon.
You answered the letter. Now, like me, you are a part of this place.
I think you can possibly hear me clicking my fingers, which is a terrible habit. Don't do it, because you can't stop. So sorry if you could. Where was I? I've been having I woke up in a fairly good mood. Had a really good sleep. Recorded a great episode of Monster Train. So yeah, I'm ready to rock. Now, if there's one game that can knock you off your podium, it is Darkest Dungeon. So let's see what's in store for us today. Oh, I killed the Sovereign crew for this leopard mask. Yes, I want this leopard mask. Is that the good one? Yes. 8 crit chance, 3 speed. You combine that with bracers. Okay, so we need a level 1/2 little team. So let's sort by level. Grab some peeps. Okay, well, obviously I want this guy. What is your... That's fine. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy, yes. Bounty hunter. I think you're up position 3. Sodden crew can be bled. That sounds incredibly rude. But you know what I mean. And then Pepilion. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna do this combo again. I don't really see anything else that works very well on you, to be honest. You do insane damage when you like this, but my lord, you not landing a single shot drives me up the frickin' roof. God, is that better? Or is this better? Damage 13 to 27. Damage 10 to 21. Let's go 13 to 27. I do like both of these on you as well. You're good with that. And then... Wait, who did we use? Wait. Who had the healing? Oh. We can do that. And then we can do this. Sorry, I don't want to unequip all the trinkets, and it's such a tedious job to put them all back. 15 accuracy if in position 4. How often do you miss? I don't think you miss often enough for me to really care about that. Okay, so our damage... We don't have the sniper for damage. Do we still have one down here somewhere? Because I really do like that character. No. No one that's low level anymore. Okay, now the question is, do we add this healing? You have something terrible, don't you? Yeah, you're not the greatest, but you're not the worst. This is quite a difficult decision. I just want to take a bit extra time figuring out, because I could give the accuracy mod. Extra accuracy is always good from the back line. I could just give this healing. Yeah, let's just go with the healing. Okay, everybody is set. We know where we're going. We have 8,000 gold, so it should be enough for everything we need and more. That is incorrect. That is correct. Get 3 of those. Let's get 3 of these. We are in the cove, so I will be taking all the blight cures and all the poison cures. Because I do not trust this place. And last time I did get a bit worried about our torches, funny enough. Because when we do these long missions, I try and get a scout off every time, so I want to be max light at every opportunity where it's possible. So let's have a look here. Got the food, got that, got this. Yeah, we should be good to go.
Prying eyes had become a nuisance along the old road, and so I undertook to receive my most curious deliveries by way of marine shipments. A sheltered jetty was accessible by a narrow stone stair off the back of the manor, and a discreet system of pulleys could hoist even the heaviest prizes up the rock face from a securely tied dinghy below.
No, wait, I'm still eating.
Chained and drowning for eternity.
Wait, I'm still eating chocolate. Alright, that should be fine now. For reference, it is 12:30 in the morning.
Another
Or
mariner,
12 p.m.
another misfortune.
And I haven't mentioned the secret room, but that's amazing. And I have not had lunch.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must
And
be carried
breakfast.
home.
I also have not had, so I quickly shoved some chocolate in my mouth while Wayne was talking. Because normally Wayne talks
The
forever.
match is struck. A
But not today,
blazing
Wayne.
star is born.
You stopped and I had like 3 blocks of chocolate in my mouth. Oh, what chocolate you ask? It's Cadbury Mint Crisp. This is like peppermint crisp in ordinary dairy chocolate. I've heard that America doesn't know how to make chocolate. Apparently American chocolate sucks. Unless you get the Cadburys or the British chocolates. Which is quite interesting because we mainly, I think, get British chocolate here. I haven't said anything yet, but it's not going too well to start. But the chocolate is amazing. It's definitely one of my favorites. I am a big fan of peppermint crisp.
Press this advantage.
Peppermint crisp
Give them no
tarts.
quarter.
Ooh, baby. I don't know if that's a... See, here's the part of food where I get a bit
Eradicated.
more confused, right? Is South Africa has... We don't have a food identity. Okay, so that is a big problem with South African food. Like, no matter where you really go in the world, you'll have Asian cuisines, you'll have the Thai, you'll have Korean barbecue, you'll have Schnapp. Let's just do this one. You'll have Korean barbecue, you'll have Mexican food, you'll have barbecue like proper American barbecue. Wherever you go in the world, there will be a restaurant that is okay, maybe not the American barbecue part, but you understand where I'm going to try and get this point across.
Decimated.
Countries have their food identities, no matter where you go in the world. And if you go to these specific places, then this is always, or it's like 50-50 bad. Hylomania? This is material things. So am I. Anyway. No matter where you go in the world, there is an identity attached to countries there. You know Italy as... Damn it! You know Italy as the place that... Okay, so let me just tell you what it is, right? They're known for their incredibly fresh and natural and healthy ingredients. The more coastal towns, because Italy's it's an incredible place when it comes to incredible place. Place is meat in Afrikaans, that's what I had a bit of a giggle. Italy, each town in Italy had their specific regional way of making something. Which led to, because, let me just iterate further, because they had limited, I really should have checked how much stress they had before doing that, that was idiotic. Because the terrain and the variety of ingredients you can find in Italy is so incredibly vast. I prefer to eat. Is so incredibly vast. So Italy would have very different. Let's first see what our scout gives us, and then I'll carry on with our conversation here. So Italy would have very different variations, regional. That's why the word regional is used a lot when it comes to Italy. Is they have a lot of variant when it comes to recipes, because each town had, and same thing kind of happened in France. That's why champagne, bolognese, bloody. And I should have done that on the front guy. I'm in over my head. Okay. I promise we'll finish this conversation. Let me just figure out what the bloody hell we're doing here.
Their formation is broken.
And then you should die.
Maintain the offensive. Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
So where was I going with this? Where I'm going with this is, even in a cuisine heavy country like Italy, you would find McDonald's. They are very incredibly far and few. One of my the chefs that trained me, Michael, worked in Italy for a very long time, and he was, I think, in Sicily mostly, but I don't really remember. He told a lot of stories. Keeping track of them is difficult, okay? How I still not fixed this? And in Italy, he said he knew of one McDonald's in like a 50-60 kilometer radius. Now, if you're from America and you're like, I don't understand what kilometers is, 1.6 kilometers I think is a mile. So let's say 80 kilometers. Anyway, no, let's work that back. 30 miles. Let's just say 30 miles. What? Okay. So in a 30-mile radius, only one McDonald's, because they love their traditional ways of preparing the food, the traditional benefits. Can I? No. Man, this is not going well, and I'm not explaining what I'm trying to say very well either. Their food is known as this healthy, respect your ingredients, farm to table kind of thing, okay? And if I remember correctly, unless it's changed in the meantime, which is also possible. The food world is forever freaking changing. Can you guys just die and stop giving me stupid diseases, please? Lord Almighty. La da da da, ba da ba ba, be da doo doo.
Another one falls.
And then if you have Italian food in other countries, there aren't really Italian fast food chains. There will be Italian chains, not Italian fast food chains.
Executed with
and once again,
impunity.
if I am wrong, with what happens in the rest of the world, I completely accept that I'm wrong, and tell me in the comments. But
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
this is making my life difficult. Man, that sucks. Battle with curious, where are we going? And then when you're in other parts of the country, Asian cuisine is known to be rice based. Okay, so let's rather do it this way around.
Are often low on
Japanese
supplies.
food. Rice based, you think of the rice fields, you think of, sorry, let's figure out how to pop a torch apparently.
The light,
You think
the promise of safety.
Fresh oceanic food, your crabs, your lobsters, your sushi, your tuna, your fresh salmon and things like that. Okay, salmon isn't ocean based salmon, but you know what I mean. And you think of a lot of mushrooms and things found in mountainous areas. And then when you go to a Japanese restaurant somewhere else in the world, it's stuck to as closely as they can to that archetype of food, depending on what they can find in that region. So if you go to a Japanese place in South Africa, you'll get a lot of the fresher food, the fresher fish, the umami flavors from shimichi and mushrooms like that. Dead. And then while you're okay, this is going a lot bit after we're not just idiotically limited by our bad positioning that I never fixed. And then when you travel to other parts of the world, it'll still maintain that core concept of what Japanese cuisine is. You have the same thing with Korean barbecue, which I've never had, but geez, if there were a Korean barbecue place in South Africa, y'all, let me know. I would love to somehow make my way there. From what I've heard, it is just absolutely scrumptious. I have no idea what it is. As far as I know, you sit at a table, there will literally be like a grill in front of you. You order off the menu. They either cook it in front of you or you cook it yourself, something like that. That's what I heard from a friend of mine. So that sounds absolutely freaking amazing. You're actually dealing most of our damage, so let's see what we can do here. What? Was that just stress relief? I don't know. And then you'd have same thing for Chinese food. Let's not talk about what the Chinese culture ingests in those wet kitchens. It's what started the pandemic that is, or is rumored to have started the pandemic that is spread through our world right now. But they also, if you ignore those things, they have a very specific
handsome reward
style of cuisine that's very identifiable for China. And then you look at France. France might have generally stolen the croissant from the Danish, but well, not on purpose. It was kind of the crazy queen. Anyway, or because of their crazy queen, people think that it's a French thing, but it's actually not. And that French food is known as this rich, buttery, incredibly, let's just say, gluttonous and unhealthy. Okay. The bloody hell's going on here? It's the rich, creamy sauces. It is the
creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
I'm in a hallway. Dang, that sucks. How far are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the boss is probably there. Unless I counted wrong, which is also a possibility. I just keep shuffling things around. So they would also be an incredibly 69. So there's an identifier for Chinese food, for Mexican food. I want proper Mexican food. Alas, the closest thing we have to proper Mexican food is a place called tapas, which is also a style of presenting the food. And there's like 2 others. I had a burrito for the first time in my life at this place before my brother moved to New Zealand, just before the Corona thing happened. And I have 2 brothers and a sister, for those who are asking. And oh, so close, man, so close. I would like to kill her. Nope, not getting the chance. And it still tasted distinctly South African. Now, that might come rich from that might sound rich from someone who has never had the actual Mexican food, or has had actual Mexican food. Yeah, it might sound rich coming from me. I completely agree. That trigger makes such a big difference.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Where was I now? There's so much good stuff I can't take because I've got this. But this by itself, I mean, it's 7,000, 8,000, 9,250, and rare. If I camp now, wait, why can I not camp? Normally you can bug the system and you can't do that anymore. In any case, as I was saying, yeah, still look, whatever. As I was saying, there's each country or region has their
possessed by evil intent.
Well, that is what that is the style of their food. This is what it tastes like. And please don't be a fight, so I can. Is this the one we have to camp at? No, this one is. I keep saying a lot, and I'm really losing my train of thought because I'm trying to do some other things as well. And this Mexican food I had, okay, so that's where I actually was. The Mexican food I had still tasted distinctly South African because food from different areas do taste different. I can guarantee you now, we have good bananas in this country. Now, yes, it's a okay. Let's put it this way, because of we have tropical weather in some parts of South Africa and Africa, and
precision and power.
And that leads to us having really good fruit. But my sister and her husband went to go work in India for... Her husband went for a few months, came back, and then they both went for a year and a half, something like that. And she said the fruit in comparison between us and... she had a lot to say about India, but the food comparison... because obviously that's what I was interested in. Firstly, actual butter. My butter chicken's good, but apparently their butter chicken is like whole effing different level with naan. Oh, proper. Oh, it just makes my mouth water thinking about what actual proper traditionally made naan tastes like. And their big difference was fruit. Like they said, our mangoes and bananas and stuff does not hold even a semblance of a candle.
Victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Yeah, doesn't hold a semblance of a candle.
Huddled together, furtive and vulnerable, rats in a maze.
I don't know. I'd rather take that. We're not gonna need these torches, so I can do that. We're not gonna need all of this food, so we can do that. You actually have a disease. So let's get rid of that. We don't need the scouting. No, we definitely need that. Reduce torchlight by 100, 15% stress off. Nope. Quarantine, nope. There we go, that's what I wanted. Flashes. Increase speed. Reduce stress. You don't actually have the self-flagellation stuff. Quite weird. Don't think we need the scouting, to be completely honest with you. Don't need that, definitely. So let's go with scouting ahead then, I guess.
And now,
wake up, they're upon us.
Darkness holds dominion. Black as
Oh,
death.
come on, guys. We could have killed them so easily if you just stayed where you were supposed to be. When did you get this trait? When did that happen? Yeah, let me just focus up a bit here and then I'll carry on with the entire point of this whole conversation we've been having. I promise I'll get to it now. As soon as... Yeah, okay, I think we're actually fine. They can just stay where they are and commit some heinous act of murder. Could probably do a bit of these if I could. Okay. So no matter where you go in the world, there is a semblance of this country's cuisine. This is what this country's cuisine looks like. This is what this country's cuisine tastes like. These are the ingredients, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, if I had a camera, you'd see the expression on my face after doing that. There we go. Took a while, but we got there. Almost like the story I'm trying to tell. So, I actually think we should give this flagellance a heal. Game disagrees. So, the point I'm trying to get to at the moment is there's
horrors brought low and driven into the mud.
There's countries have their food or their cuisine identities. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But it's a thing. And what happens with South Africa? We are such an amalgamation.
The captain shouts his orders, and the crew obeys.
We have such an amalgamation of... Marking you doesn't really do anything because the mark only lasts one turn. You can try it. Our country has a ridiculous amalgamation of cultures, languages, styles, arts, cheese. Pick a category and we have a wide array of it. Whether it's any good or not, can't confirm nor deny. But what I can indeed redo tell you...
A decisive pummeling.
But what I can indeed redo tell you is that it has an incredibly strange effect on our cuisine. We have interesting versions of Indian food. That's stupid. I don't like that. He's still mock. No, we'll just keep using finish him or something. And it's reached a point where South African cuisine doesn't know what it is. South African cuisine has essentially no bloody idea what it is because it's got French roots, it's got German roots, it's got English roots, it's Indian we don't have that many Asian influences, funny enough, but it's here now because the Asian culture in South Africa has grown greatly over the past few years. And I feel that's pretty much the same in the entirety of the world, really. And it's just
Singular strike.
I'm gonna check. Ah, that's not very good now. What? What do I do here? And you do this, and then we're good here. Okay, it's unfortunate we had to do that. Just shuffling up our positions is really freaking annoying. In any case, we have several cultures mixed in here, and that's not even starting with the African cultures. I mean, 11 official languages, which is probably more by now. I'm just out of date.
The will to fight.
It's incredibly strange. Six to 11, 6 to 11, 11, 15. Where was I? What was I saying? Oh yeah, you can just exsanguinate this thing. It didn't bleed? That is unfortunate. Oh, it's undead. Wait. You have 110 bleed resist. How do I keep getting bleed on you? Where was I once again? Alright, and we have so many different things. I mean, just eating. And yes, this is gross. We call them walkie-talkies, chicken legs or chicken feet and heads. It's gross. I do not partake. But in the African culture, that mixed with some very salty gravy and pup. And if you don't know what pup is, it is essentially mulled and dried corn. So I picture a much rougher corn flour. That's essentially what it is. And what this has, and that's a very, very traditional African thing to eat. It just is. For all cultures. All cultures enjoy pap and gravy with meat. Not all cultures enjoy the walkie-talkies, the chicken feet and things like that, but that is a very traditional South African thing. Another very traditional South African dish is malva pudding. Is that South African? I'm pretty sure that's South African. See, that's what I mean. If I'm wrong, definitely let me know in the comments. I'd love to actually know without googling it. Which is a juicy, spongy, warm cake that has a cinnamonish, a sweet cinnamon taste. And are you not dead? It has a sweet cinnamon taste. Oh, you actually get an HP with that. Really? You try me, Matt. Yeah, you're gonna lose your mind. I get it. Yeah. Oh, he's rapturous. Wow, what a surprise.
One can sometimes find clarity in madness, but only
Another
rarely.
traditional dish is milk tart, or in Afrikaans, melktert.
Finally.
Ooh, baby, where have those been
Sailor's
this entire
death
freaking
for
fight?
captain
Good
and
lord.
crew. Fitting.
Both these are bad, but they sell for decent. They sell for more than this, I think. What? Nah, I think we're good to go out. In any case, this which is it has almost a panna cotta texture. It can be made warm or cold. Just like a cheesecake can be a fridge cheesecake or a baked cheesecake, this can be a fridge milk tart or a baked milk tart. If it's baked, it has more flour and things like that, so it is a bit more. And when I say a bit, I mean literally just a little bit of a texture change, closer to a cake. And then if it's fridge, it's closer to a fresh cheesecake essentially. You lost your mind. It's the first person, second person to lose their mind. It's not bad at all. We need to fix your whatever nonsense you've got at some stage. And the problem with South Africa is you don't go to a place and you're like, I'm having South African
There is a
food.
great horror beneath the manor. A crawling chaos that must be destroyed.
So think of your favorite streamers or YouTubers or whatever the case might be. They'll or think of your friends, think of yourself. You guys say, oh well, tonight we're having Chinese, tonight we're having Japanese. I had sushi, I had Mexican, whatever, Korean. Like it's endless. South Africa, you'll never say I'm having South African. One South African chef did go over to Europe and open a successful restaurant where he has bobotie dishes and things like that, introducing the world a bit more to what South Africa has to offer and what this cultural what do you call it? I don't want to call it a cesspool because that has bad connotations, but what is the thing that you look at germs under the microscope? That thing, okay? The cultural that thing. And our food has evolved in very interesting ways and clashed in very interesting ways. But you don't see South African fast food places overseas. I think Chetanyama will do incredibly well. It eventually means meat and pub, I think. Meat, Chetanyama, nice meat, something like that. I can't remember. I think it's sort of, and I think it would do well overseas, especially in America. But that would mean that people would need to eat pub. And they've already got so much cornstarch and stuff in their diet, corn syrup. Anyway, guys, that was an incredibly rambly long episode. I appreciate anyone who stuck out for it, and if you did find the topics enjoyable, let me know in the comments. Let's have a bit of a chat about it. If you did like the episode, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe. Take care of yourselves. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.